Hello everyone, and welcome to the 72nd episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me damn it. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. I was really on a roll there, I felt like I was full of confidence and happiness.
The last two times you completely nailed it, and now I don't know. It's
I broke the streak, yeah. No, I was feeling good, and now suddenly I feel absolutely awful. Anyway,
you've regressed as a person.
Welcome to the pod. I'm Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson, famed YouTuber and man, and maybe a human. With me as always is my friend.
Convicted criminal.
Not true for the record. With me as always is my friend.
Just saying.
Frederick. Friend. Pod.
I don't call him Frederick. He's called friend. So.
I'm off today. I'll be honest. And at his home, buddy, because we can't see each other at least for a little bit. We might be able to see each other next week. But Frederick is here as well. In case you missed it, he's here.
In case you don't know what you've signed up for here.
So
it's good to be back as always.
Today we're doing, and I think we're going to be returning to this a little bit for the next few episodes. We're gonna do a mini pod, which I know is the every fan's worst nightmare, but
GC just writhes in pain.
But with more stuff kind of coming up as the year goes on, kind of have a little less time to do full hour-long pods. We might sneak one in there occasionally, but it's gonna.
Also, now that it's like two-person audio, it takes even longer to edit.
Oh yeah, it takes.
I don't edit it, but I do.
You can picture it. So yeah, it's we're gonna be going more like 20 to 30-minute pods for a while, and also a pod video every Wednesday, maybe a Ben and Fred watch here and there. I don't even know what if I should even say such a crazy thing.
You don't mean it.
Here we are. So today, in fact, we're just gonna be talking about a topic, and then some Tom Cnews, and then some announcements and such, which we'll record closer to when this comes out. And the topic is, in fact, a long-awaited episode. We're going to talk about The Boys.
Damn! Nice! All right.
We're only...
I keep saying this, but I do like that I actually find out the way the listeners
it's
find
like
out.
it's like some audience interaction here. You're basically just a listener to the pod.
A listener who gets a bit of screen time.
So, we're either 2 years late and or a few months late, depending on how you want to look at it, but The Boys Season 1 came out 2019. Yes?
We're way early.
That's true. We could review Season 3.
If you think
about it. just way in advance. So, yeah, we've both finally watched The Boys. We've been requested to talk about for a while. We're going to go through Season 1, Season 2, talk a little bit about what we think will happen in Season 3, and spoilers for everything, which is why there are time codes in the description, as usual, because I'm a pro.
Not the codes. Not the codes.
Actually, we talk about both seasons together, pretty much, so it's just both seasons, but, yeah. Anyway, spoilers for both. Let's go. Starting off with Le Garçon.
Robin?
Oh. Yeah. Yours was better, to be fair.
Starting off, I know.
with The Boys, Season 1. First of all, I'm going to ask you this, even though I know the answer. Have you read the comic book that The Boys is based on?
I actually have.
Yeah, right. Good one.
No, I have. I have.
He's a prankster. He's giving me the prankster face. He has one. It's very distinct. And he's giving it to me right now.
He's giving me the one.
It's very similar to The Help, if you're familiar. But
to those of you acquainted with him.
But so The Boys Season 1, the main thing that I kind of loved about the show initially, like that caught my attention, was the premise, which I guess is a bit of a credit to the comic. It's a very fun idea for twisting the genre in all sorts of directions, as I think Seth Rogen's involved in this, to be fair, as Seth Rogen does.
Is Seth Rogen involved?
I don't want to make horrific claims as such, but I'm 90% sure. The Boys, yeah, he's a
He's one of the boys.
He plays Butcher. I don't know.
He plays Frenchie. It's a lot of makeup.
I'm pretty sure he's like, I don't know, he has some kind of part in this, because he also has another comic book show. Anyway, we started off with a completely probably false claim, so that's a great start. But yeah, it's a very fun idea for. It's not like the most.
It's kind of Watchmen-esque,
yeah,
but spiraled further.
But it's kind of like if Watchmen and Suicide Squad were kind of mixed together. Like it's not the most original concept. Like the superheroes are bad guys, and like that's been done, in some movies and a lot of comics. But it's I don't know, the world it builds is quite. I don't want to say
truly magnificent.
I don't want to say like unique because it is a. But yeah, I would say
because it's not. It's certainly not.
I'd say the world is unique in the way it branches off in different directions, like with the corporate aspect of it and Vought and how it's all for like PR and movies and all this kind of stuff. It's really really fascinating thing. I think we should go through the cast here.
The cast,
if I dare to do so. Firstly, Carl Rural.
Carl I was about to say.
I know.
Carl Rural Settlement.
I got
very nice.
Carl the Hamlet Urban. He
Carl the Hamlet Urban. Do you hear yourself?
A hamlet is a very small settlement. For those who don't know, #geography.
Max 100 people.
Yeah, boom. We'll never forget for reasons we cannot go into here.
For legal reasons we cannot explain.
Our old geography teacher talked about a lot. Anyway, Carl Urban. What do you think of him as Billy Butcher?
I do really like him. My mind was blown when I found out he was also in Lord of the Rings, which
yes. I believe that
is
was
vital to this performance.
Caught on the pod live. Also, Seth Rogen is a writer. I know it. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Not for this, just erotic fiction. No, I think he's really, really good. He's a little bit like, it's a very cartoonish world, but sometimes he's a bit too cartoonish for it. I think like there's some times where it's really not fitting the mood, and he just goes, "Oh, it's just a bit of fun, eh?" That's my rural.
That's a pretty good rule.
But generally, he's a very, very good dude. I do like him. Good performance.
Yeah,
he's kind of like a more badass, dickish Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, there's definitely Sparrowish elements. I mean, he even says savvy at one point. I knew when you saw that you would scream and throw something at your television in excitement. But
that's why I don't have a television anymore. Broke.
But
the urban excitement.
Yeah. But no, I do get your point that he's like over the top and occasionally maybe it breaks the tension a bit too much. But I think because the rest of the show is so over the top, I think it fits in quite well in general. I don't know. I love the performance. Again, it's this thing with the show.
I think the whole show is very like over the top, but then sometimes the characters get very not real, but they get like it gets very serious and emotional, and they're like, oh yeah, someone's mom just died or something, and then he just walks in, oi, all bit of fun, eh?
Yo,
savvy, yo. I'm just feeling it.
What a crossover reference. Oh my goodness, there were like 8 different threads to follow there, and no one but me will get them, which I think is the best part of doing a podcast for like the public. But anyway, I do think the character isn't the most, again, like original. Like he's a bit, he's a wise ass kind of badass guy, but it's kind of like Urban was kind of meant for this. Like you couldn't have casted better. You know what I mean?
Urban was born for this specific purpose.
Also, he's from New Zealand, which I feel like I knew, but also he's so British in this that I feel like I forgot.
No, he's not British in this. He's Australian in this, isn't he?
Of course he's. Are you kidding me? He's so British.
No.
It's like, oi, mate. What's good in the gaff? That's my.
What's good in the gaff? Wait,
is that even his gaff even a word? I feel like it is. Of course, he's
a word.
He's the most. I was about to say, is his accent too cartoonish? He's the most
Australian in this.
He's like as British as anything has ever been.
Is Billy Butcher Australian?
He's so not. I can't believe we're having this conversation. Literally how many Australians say the C word so much? Actually, probably a lot of them, to be fair, but. Bro, Billy Butcher, they meet his dad in season 2, and his dad's like, "Oi, I'm so British." You remember that part, right?
In the comics, he's British, but he does have, he does not sound British. He's got the like usual Cockney, like Aussie accent or like New Zealand accent. That's all I'm saying.
Isn't Cockney British?
No hate.
A former member of the British Special Forces. Yeah, jeez. There's literally one of his aliases is British guy. You know what? I can't. Along with lime-sucking smartass, which I assume Frenchie said of him. Anyway, I can't believe we've gotten so hung up on this, but it did upset me greatly that you said that. But anyway, Billy, the British Butcher. He's very good. Delightful, very funny. Jack Quaid, who I'm shocked and appalled to discover is actually featured in an Oscar-winning film called Rampage, if you recall. He's at the start, remember?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't remember him in Rampage.
So remember they go to see.
Oh my god.
They go to see.
He no
laugh.
He cried.
Bro.
He cried. Oh my god.
It's him.
Worlds collide.
He's in a bunch of stuff. He's the son of Dennis Quaid, I believe, or Randy Quaid. One of the Quaids. One of the Quaidies. Anyway.
Let's see. One of the Quaidies.
He's in the Hunger Games as well. It's the whole thing.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one I was
thinking. He's very good. He's good at being like, oh my god, I'm so shocked at this world of blood and violence and all that. But then suddenly he's not so shocked.
Sometimes it gets a little bit annoying. He's a bit of a panic moonwalker, isn't he? He's like, no, I can't do this. In fairness, I don't think
panic moonwalker.
Little Nick from New Girl.
I have been loving New Girl. I'll just put that out there. I've been enjoying it thoroughly.
Now that we are on The Boys, let's talk about Nick from New Girl for 20 minutes. I will say that. What was I gonna say?
Couldn't tell you.
Oh yeah. Obviously, I don't think that I would react much differently if I were to witness some of the stuff.
Yeah, you would be a
But
Huey.
still, it's like some. But sometimes you're just kind of like, come on, Huey, just man the f up. He's got two moods. He's either like hella angry, otherwise he's like scared shitless.
That's fair. I can relate.
I'm
both
my
during
review.
these podcast recordings.
My hero. That.
Yeah, so just leave.
You know what I was trying to do.
Oh, I do. I think genuinely one of my favorite TV performances. I mean, I don't watch a ton of TV, but one of my favorite TV performances ever. Anthony Starr's Homelander. Just
he is very, very good.
Terrifying and also
what else has he been in?
Nothing really. He has like no career. No,
The Boys made him.
But I think it's actually like he's been in stuff, but I haven't seen him in other stuff, and I think that's a smart move to kind of cast someone who like if they cast I don't know Chris Pine because he looks kind of like Chris Pine, then like you would be like, oh, it'd be a little distracting, you know, like this way he's so he embodies that character so much, you know.
Yeah.
And he
is
terrifying,
a psycho,
and also just weird, and like he has these like quirks and these like levels to his cruelty, and a fascinating character as well, just absolutely brilliant there. And
it's just amazing, honestly.
And the rest of the cast, I don't know if we should go through all of them, but they're good all around. All the superheroes are good at being, especially the Deep. He's good at being really like pathetic and
God, he's such a pathetic
horrible
character.
but then also like sympathetic. Like he's so like pathetic and so stupid, but then they develop him more. So
but
it's
then
like,
you kind of feel from with the dolphin.
So
when he tries to escape with the dolphin,
which is also a hilarious scene. So I don't know, a great performance.
I was gonna just say I feel like he wouldn't have to like do a heist where he steals the dolphin. Couldn't he just like he is the Deep? Like he's one of the seven. Come on, he could just be like, yo, release these guys, and then there's like nothing they could do.
I mean, I do think a little bit of the Deep subplot was a bit. Sometimes I was like, all right, we can kind of maybe we can get back to like.
All right, we get it. He's moronic.
But yeah, and also the show I think does a good job of, instead of being just completely black and white with like all superheroes are bad and all like the boys are good. You know, like even though I mean the Deep is obviously horrible, like an A-Train as well. Like, they like do.
Yeah, but like Maeve is like a bit of a.
No, yeah, but also A-Train and the Deep, they do add like try to add some sympathetic layers to it, so at least you kind of can understand them more, even if they are still like terrible people. And I thought that was much more interesting. And even Homelander, who's like the worst like person ever, they do explore his backstory more to kind of explain why he is this way. I thought that was really well done.
You know who I really like, even though he gets like no screen time.
Huey.
That guy gets 100% too much screen time.
Black Noir.
Black Noir.
Yeah. He's.
I really do like him.
His all of his like background gags are very, very funny.
Yeah, like when he sits on the piano, it's like.
Yeah. No, it's a very funny show as well. It has a dark sense of humor a lot of the time, and it works quite well. And speaking of the darkness, there is very violent show.
Probably one of the most violent shows out there. Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's not. The thing is, it's kind of tough because you know how like
I kind of love it.
you know how like Matthew Vaughn movies like Kingsman are extremely violent, but it's sort of like in a
But it's
cartoonish
like
way.
it's violent where you don't notice that guy just got his head blown off.
Like yeah, like
it's more like
it's still
whereas here a guy's face is literally ripped across.
no. I would say it's still like very shocking, especially. And I guess we can talk about some of the more brutal ones. But I do think it's less because it's not in like a more realistic like even like Game of Thrones. I think it's like maybe less shocking than that because it's not as like I don't know what I can't even remember what happens in Game of Thrones now. Someone gets their dick cut off at some point. I'm assuming, but like you know like stuff like that. Like it's not like gruesome torture like kind of realistically. You know like it's more shocking in that kind of like.
I feel the opposite. I feel like there's so much like focus on the detail.
Like when Gus cuts a dude's like throat with a box cutter in Breaking Bad, that to me is much more shocking than like someone, I don't know, getting lasered in half just like on a more like instead of a visceral level, but like an emotional, like realistic kind of level. That being said, because I feel like we should not get away from this point, it is extremely dark and brutal, and there's a lot of like people just kind of.
I as I say, some of the like when that CIA woman's head blew up, I jumped in my seat because I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah,
this was
to me
insane.
The face ripping. Also, Loki, we've kind of just talked about season 1 and 2 together, so I think I might just untimecode this. I'm sorry to all the timecode fans, but this is kind of just one big thing.
All the people who watch the pod just for the time.
Actually, let me put back at the start. Actually, we talk about both seasons together, pretty much, so it's just both seasons, but yeah. Anyway, spoilers for both. Let's go. So, I think the most brutal one for me was Kimiko ripping the dude's face off. That was pretty bad. Because also they showed it like in detail.
Yeah, they showed like, oh my god, it was insane.
And I also think when Stormfront kills Kimiko's brother,
when she breaks his hands.
And also because there's a bit of an emotional connection there. Even though I didn't think that subplot was super well done.
Great, no.
It felt more like a plot device to me than an actual character that her brother, like that whole storyline felt a bit like we kind of need to have this emotional arc, and it felt a bit rushed, but
just for him to die.
Yeah, but I guess we can talk about Stormfront. Excellent performance because because I honestly think this is the most I've hated a TV character since Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones. Like I was like, when is this person going to get their head lasered off or something?
Honestly, I wouldn't say I hated her on that level. I disliked her. I was very much like, because she had the whole like, I don't give a shit what's happening. Like, just do you. I was like, okay, yeah, but you're kind of annoying about it. And then she just became an
actual Nazi, like from the from the 1900s.
So like, I hated her, but not like I hated Ramsay more. If that's who we're comparing to.
But it was just she was so. Like, okay, there's the, like, she was kind of annoying at the start, but, like, I guess she made some decent points about Vought's, like, PR kind of fakeness.
Yeah.
But then, actual Nazi, which, you know, makes you pretty damn unlikable. And then her, like, smugness and the way she tries to turn, what's the kid's name? Ryan against Becca, and, like, she's working with Homelander and all, like, my God, I don't know, I was just watching.
When Ryan blew her away, I was like, yes.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, to be fair, she gets a pretty similarly to Ramsay, who I believe just gets punched in the face a lot by Jon Snow. She gets a pretty good ending. Although she may not be dead, actually. I mean, she's probably dead, but like it's a superhero show.
Do you not think she's dead?
I think she is, but dead. They could, if they wanted to, they could bring her back as like a robot lady or something. I don't know. I thought her and Homelander's relationship was interesting and darkly funny again. Like it had that kind of like messed up sense of humor. And
you know what's messed up?
Oh boy,
Homelander making out with himself.
Homelander going to fillet himself was a little. Yeah, you remember that. I was a little bit like, I don't know. I believe I wrote a note in my for my review. I just wrote like, the show is so fucking weird. Like I don't know, which but it's interesting. I said this in my video. I think I understand when people say it feels kind of like it was written by like teenage boys. Like it's sort of like, wouldn't it be cool if this person had a like laser shoot through his face and then there's
Wouldn't it be cool if this guy transformed into himself and then sucked him off?
That wasn't really the example I was going for. But
Classic teenage boy thoughts.
I don't know about you, but I think about that between these points.
I think about that all the time.
wasn't the most natural, but my point was more. I can see that criticism, but I also think it's the best version of that. Similarly, in a Matthew Vaughn kind of way, where it is a bit juvenile and a bit, I don't know, like there's a guy with his superpower is just he has a giant dick in season 2, and like that's, you know, it's a bit like, all right, you know, it's not your best material.
Right, come on.
But I think it's the best version of that because it also has like actually good character arcs around it. You know, it's Stargirl and Huey, and also I love Mother's Milk. We haven't mentioned him, so I had to put that out there. I do enjoy.
Yeah, 2 of like arguably main characters.
Yeah.
Why is he called Mother's Milk though?
I feel like they explain it, but I can't remember. But also I saw someone make a joke about that in Homelander because Homelander likes Mother's Milk, like because he likes the milk from that lady. Anyway.
What about Frenchie? How are we feeling about Frenchie?
Oof.
Frenchie, the character from The Boys. I gave him a big oof.
It's just because I zoomed in on this picture of him. I don't know why I said oof. But is he? Okay,
I really like
French?
him as a character.
No, he's great. But I wonder.
In real life?
Yeah, because.
No, he's not French in real life.
Because it's a bit like with Butcher, where the British accent, which everyone knows was very clearly British, was so cartoonish that I was
I think a lot of people thought that was Australian.
Because Frenchie's accent is so, like, it's so French. That I'm like, are you French or are you not French?
If you didn't know, BHO just ate his house and his microphone.
He's Israeli, so he's not French. Well, goddamn, I feel lied to.
That's what makes it spongy.
What is that from? Oh, that's why did I not remember the most pivotal Frenchy
What's that
scene?
from?
That's what makes it spongy.
Spongy.
Spongy. This is the whole pod.
I was saying spongy.
Oh my goodness. But he's very good as well. Yeah, no, very likable main characters and everything, and fucking good action too. I think it's very good with its use of action and like use of budget, because there isn't actually that much action when you sort of think about it. And some action scenes are quite like they hide stuff. Like Starlight's powers are very clearly kind of like to hide budgetary. Like she kind of just flashes
like,
light.
Phew.
But I think it uses it well because then
that's the thing. Like sometimes they kind of hide the budget, but other times they go all out. I feel like
exactly. I think they use it in the right spots.
Broke his leg. Oh,
yeah, that was good. And also the deep chase with the whale, that was excellent. I thought.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a very smart show in terms of like what it shows and what it doesn't show, and it has some solid political commentary, which much like the rest of the show isn't like subtle at all, but it draws interesting parallels to this like superhero world and then real life, you know, companies and politicians and all this stuff. Trying to think. My only note says Homelander sucks himself, so I don't know. But I'm
kidding. It says that 10 times.
I'm kidding. It also says just spongy. That was a terrible French accent.
That's what makes it spongy.
Spongy.
You looked at me. You looked at the camera with such pride after you said that one. You're like, that was a good spongy.
You know, I speak French like a bit, like not fluently, but you know.
I can hear.
Yeah.
Spongy.
Spongy. Am I right? I don't really know if there's much else I have.
What do you think about Starlight?
I like her. She's good. Let's see. It's a guy who gets his arms chopped off. It's like a fetish for other people.
Oh right. See, again, I find that another like cool thing where they just like a lot of them incorporate their superpowers into like
gross
everyday things.
Okay, I don't know if that's an everyday thing for. I feel like I just you.
Like so. You don't like getting dismembered? What? No, like, you know how like some people like meet up and be like, oh yeah, please like hit me or something as a fetish. Some people, I don't know who. But then,
You're sounding a little defensive over there, Freddie. You know, some people, it costs like $30, I heard from a friend of mine. I don't know, but no, I really did like how they incorporate, like they take superheroes that you basically know from other stuff, like Mr. Fantastic and like what would happen if superheroes were in the real world, like the Haley Joel Osment character, where he's like a washed-up child star. Also, is it Haley Joel Osment or Haley Joel Osment? Because I feel like I pronounced.
I don't know who this is.
He's the.
Oh, is this the?
He's the child star who gets beat up in a bathroom.
Mix. I feel like it's with an M.
Haley Joel Osment. Oh, I've been saying that wrong my whole life. Whoops. But
Oh God, I refer to him so often.
Everyday life. But yeah, no. I think it's interesting how they explore, what these characters would be like, in the real world. Yeah. Oh, also, I love the Butcher Becca stuff in season 2. I thought that was genuinely emotional in a show that like doesn't have a ton of like, when it does go for emotional stuff, I think it works and like the characters work very well together. But that part, like, I think I didn't cry at any point, but I was getting a little choked up when they had that argument in episode 4, I think it was.
Under the bridge.
Yeah, because it's a very interesting conflict, and yeah, I thought it was very well done. Great acting there, and Homelander is so terrifying in those scenes with Becca and Ryan, because like they've established how like ruthless and like cruel he is, and so you just feel like at any second he could like snap her neck.
That's the thing with him. You feel like at any point he could just snap and kill everyone.
Yeah, it's like having an atom bomb just like sitting there.
Yeah, when he was doing the speech and he suddenly.
Oh yeah, I thought that was real.
I thought that was happening.
Yeah, I was like, damn, they like, because the thing is, that's the cool thing about the show is like, yeah, they would do that, you know.
Yeah.
The laser eyes are another great example of like the brutalness of the show, because it's a very familiar thing for superhero fans, like laser eyes, but it's such a brutal, kind of like more realistic way of doing it.
Yeah,
probably
often
over the
you
top
don't really
with the
see
blood.
just how like, often especially in comics and stuff like that, you don't see how he actually just like severs a body.
Yeah, and it just blood flies everywhere. It's disturbing but great. So sums the boys up pretty well. The work of Seth Rogen and no one else. Just discredit everyone else who worked on it. So yeah, I really
Spongy.
I really enjoyed The Boys seasons 1 and 2, and I'm really looking forward to season 3. They kind of wrapped it up.
When's season 3 coming out?
Sorry?
When's season 3 coming out?
I would guess end of this year, maybe early next year.
Becomes a horse. I would guess.
But yeah, they kind of wrapped things up pretty well in this season, so I'm curious to see what they're gonna do next time.
Yeah. We need to talk. Yeah, predictions. What about the woman who makes people's head explode?
Newman. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there are a few different angles that you can see that from. Either like she's an undercover supervillain, or maybe she does actually stand for the thing she said, but she has these messed up methods of like trying to frame.
I feel like that is more like it.
That seems a little more nuanced, which is kind of than just like, she's just a bad guy all along. So I think that'll be interesting to explore. Also, there's that person from the asylum who can make people explode, who's on the loose. And
right. Well, do you think that she could make Homelander's head explode?
I don't think so.
Because she made what's that guy called? The other runner. No, the other runner.
I don't know.
The guy A-Train was racing against. Yeah. She made his head explode. And a few other super people. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know.
Where is the limit?
They have to. We're gonna have to see like how you're gonna kill Homelander, because I wonder if like the C4 up the butt thing will work with him or not, and because it varies from one to person. Like the lamplighter guy somehow was not fireproof, which is like,
that seems weird.
Seems like a thing you would
an obvious flaw in the system. The one guy who can like withstand any heat suddenly lights himself on fire.
But that was an interesting character as well for the time he was there. But yeah, no, I don't know. I guess there's also apparently in the comics there's this thing where they make Compound V into a pill where then anyone can take it and have superpowers for like an hour. I think they'll probably incorporate that into the next season. We might see Billy Butcher with some Billy glowing eyes.
Kutcher?
Billy Kutcher, yeah. Billy Crystal?
Meth?
Sponge?
Spongy.
And yeah, but like Homelander's also kind of at bay now because they have that video. So like, I don't know. And also
What did you say?
Homelander's
Kind of what?
Homelander's at bay now because they have that video from the plane.
Oh, I thought you said he's kind of a bay now. So.
And like they took his kid away. I thought it was gonna be like Butcher has to raise this kid who he hates but also has to love because it's Becca's, but hates because it's Homelander's. That could have been interesting, but the kid's just like, I'm out. So I don't know what they're gonna do,
Peace.
but I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, yeah. So boys, 2 thumbs up from these boys.
God, that was the lamest thing I've ever heard.
Are you ready for?
From one boys to the other boys.
Are you ready for some?
Keep it up.
Some Teak news.
What time is it?
I believe it's time for.
The Tom Cnews.
Great.
Brilliant. that was perfect.
So the only thing I'm seeing here is that Tom Cruise's son, Connor, who's now 26, looks unrecognizable in rare new pic from a fishing trip in Costa Rica. I don't know what's so rare about this or why he looks so different. I don't know anything about Connor Cruise. Apparently it's his and Nicole Kidman's child.
Connor Cruise.
But anyway, so that's a big headline, I guess. So that's the Tom Cnews for this week.
How is that Tom Cruise's son?
Connor Cruise. He's adopted.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
So their adopted son is out fishing or something. Great. Such news. So, now to future BHL and FDK, here are the announcements and such. And we're back for the announcements and such segment. We got Freddie on the line.
Hello, guys.
It is February 10th, so we're up to date here, and we're just going to go through some of this stuff from this week. Are you ready, Freddie?
Oh, I'm most ready, Freddie.
Oh, brilliant. All right, first things first, the fan page from Cian. Also, by the way, the other fan page from Pierce posted a little congrats for 50K, so appreciate that, Pierce. So the 2 fan pages linked down below. But on the Cian fan page, firstly, there's a unhinged thumbnail where it says unhinged worth dying for, featuring a stinky Russell face. So I think that's pretty good.
Is there any other Russell face is the question?
Then some Kingsman trivia, something that I find beautiful. Taron Egerton wants Dwayne Johnson to join Kingsman 3. Can you imagine Dwayne in Kingsman? Dwayne versus Muggsy, the fight scenes. Can you just imagine how beautiful?
How fast Muggsy would be pulverized.
Muggsy wouldn't stand 3 seconds before having his legs snapped in half. So I really hope that happens. I mean, not the leg snapping, but Dwayne is a villain. This is brilliant, referring to a 20-minute Ben and Fred watch, but I like this, and I think it says an hour-long pod or a longer Ben and Fred watch. So, I will say I think the Ben and Fred watches are some of our finest work, but I understand the.
So that hurts.
Yeah, so that's pretty bit of a stab in the back. But yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, the plan was to release that as like a Wednesday video and just have the pods keep going normally, but because of some complications on on both of our ends, we had to push the actual pod for that week until later. So normally it wouldn't be replacing it, but also I think it's good enough to replace it. Thank you very much. But I get your point, Cian.
I actually think we should only do better for
Then finally, or not finally, but finally in this epic saga, the life is good but it can be better Pedro memes. We did get from FDK to BHL, but then also from BHL to FDK,
epic switcheroo.
which I do not, I can't believe I've been another stab in the back. I can't believe this has happened.
It's just how it's meant to be.
And then there are a couple other things, but we'll get to that with some other stuff. So then some comments on the Cat in the Hat Ben and Fred watch. Firstly, Cian once again saying, and a couple of people saying, we should like make a Patreon where you can pay for the full version of a Ben and Fred watch. I mean, it's not out of the question, but it's just kind of, it's not really how we roll. And Patreon, I don't really know if I would do a Patreon.
It could be how we should roll. $100 per view.
Per Cat in the Hat minute. I don't really know about doing a pay. I mean, I've thought about it, but I don't.
$50.
But hey, we'll see. Maybe, who knows? But right now I like having like a really nice like edited, kind of sharp, kind of final product. But I don't know, for the Ben and Fred watches at least. But and then also I just love See I Told You commented, Conrad in the beginning radiates severe Frederick energy, which is an epic.
Conrad in what?
In The Cat in the Hat.
Oh, that's like the biggest insult I've ever received.
It's the most accurate one too.
Frederick energy.
Then some comments on Pod 71. Awkward says, "Oh man, I wonder what Fred thought of the new Attack on Titan episode." I think you talked about it, but I don't think we went into much depth because I think there was a big thing that happened, like a big, crazy moment.
There's a big thing.
So just, do you want to give any thoughts on that?
Well, I've just watched. When was this posted? This comment?
It's like a week ago, I think.
A week ago. Oh yeah. So well, I know you're gonna watch it, but do you mind if I spoil for you?
All right, spoilers for Attack on Titan.
So Sasha got shot, a long-beloved character who loved food, and her dying word was meat, which sounds cartoony, but it was very emotional.
Meat.
And there's one of the most hated characters in all of anime called Gabby, who shot Sasha, and so very heartbreaking. But the show is just so good.
So you're enjoying?
I'm enjoying very much.
Oh boy. Also, I do want to say, just the comments in general on both the pod and the BNFW were very nice. So thank you for that. But yeah, so you would give a thumbs up to Attack on Titan?
Oh, I'd give toes up.
Then Movie Guy had a pretty good idea for a pod versus episode, but it's just superheroes. I put that into my pod idea bucket. So thank you, Movie Guy.
Which is an empty bucket.
And Apurva Iyengar, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, found the notes to the Tom Cnews theme, and so he made a video of him playing the Tom Cnews theme on the piano, so I'll put that in right now. Very well done, sir.
Damn.
Although we will be copyright suing you.
Although that is ours.
It's actually sent in from someone, so it's not even ours. But, also then, Cian also sent through Wrath of Man, a new movie directed by Guy Ritchie, which, to be honest, I don't know what the Guy Ritchie is doing, because he keeps having these movies that I've never heard of, and they're just suddenly like...
And they end up being amazing.
Well, no, then they're coming out in, apparently it's coming out in this month, which I'm pretty sure it's been pushed, but, so there's Five Eyes, and there's this, which also has Statham in it, and Scott Eastwood and Post Malone. I don't know what to make of this, but,
I'll tell you what, I'm confused and scared.
But, whenever a Guy Ritchie movie actually comes out, we'll be sure to check it out, because I'm confuzzled as to what's happening. Yes, I did just say confuzzled. Don't judge me.
I'm confuzzled as to what Guy Ritchie is up to.
Then we got two things on the email. Samresh Ramesh sent in a Baby Driver poster edit where John Hamm is Batman. It's actually very good. I'll put it in the video. So I'm assuming he did this himself. But, I mean, if he didn't, I'll credit to whoever did it. But if he did, very well done. It's very good. Cian sent through the 50K subs celebration video, which I will be mentioning, and there may be a little reaction kind of thing in my 50K special video on the main channel. So, just want to say thank you.
When's that coming out?
Hopefully before the end of this week.
Oh, very cool.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who was a part of that, and we'll talk more about it, or I'll talk more about it in the 50K video. So look out for that. But just thank you for that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it in detail. And then finally, you can find the podcast on Spotify. However, not Apple Podcasts. There's been a bit of a problem where people were mentioning they can't find it. I can't find it either when you search for it. And I went on my account. There's a little bit of an issue. So I've contacted Apple about it today. Hopefully they get back to me and we've sorted out. I don't know why. It's kind of weird.
Bro, I thought you were going to pull, an epic move and be like, because we've been sponsored by Spotify and exclusively stream there.
We've been paid $100 million to stream exclusively on Spotify. No, so Apple Podcasts currently down, working on getting it back. I suspect the other Poorly Planned podcast has sniped us from the industry.
Alex is Pregnant is the latest The Poorly Planned Podcast episode.
So I think Alex did it.
The thing is, I can... Wait.
For the
it's just not the search that's coming up, because I was listening to one on Apple Podcasts.
No, yeah, so it's still there if you have it, but you can't search for it, which is kind of a problem. By the way, I'm joking about the other poorly planned podcast thing, so please don't actually like harass them or something.
I mean, the last posted like 2 years ago, so.
Yeah, so unlikely. So please don't sue us. We're just kidding. But yeah, so that's weird. Hopefully I can get it back. I've contacted Apple. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, pretty weird. But anyway, so those are the announcements and such for this week. Now back to the Boys Pod. Great. What sick announcements
Brilliant.
those were.
Those were some great announcements, eh?
So, what am I saying? Yes, so, thank you very much for listening to this episode. Hope you enjoyed. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Instagram at fdalagard. You can find me on Twitter at FTK_.sniper. And you can find me on YouTube at FTK Space Gaming.
Also, before we go, why is your room so dark? I can barely see you. What's happening?
I just embraced the darkness.
Okay. Oh, wow, that's way too light. Actually, yeah, turn it off again. Oh, it's hideous. Get rid of it. So, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Billy Butcher.
I thought you were going to end with sponge, but that's a close second.
Oh, you know what? I should.
Okay, let's do the whole episode again.
Okay, yeah.